What's up, y'all? I'm LTJ Reason. This is Throwing Light, and if you're not throwing light, you're not acting right. We got a really fun, meaningful episode. But as before we get started, remember there's reinvention and revolution going on in LTJ's life. So I need you guys to make sure you're subscribing to my YouTube channel. I'm just getting into all this. I don't know. The universe is saying grow, so I'm going to grow, okay? So you get all your Throwing Light interviews over there. You're getting the Throwing Light tour panels. I will be in New Orleans next in July, so keep up with that. The San Francisco panel has been posted. My crossover with AKW will be posted soon. And as you know, I will be having a crossover at this year's IML POC caucus where I will be moderating it. So I am super excited. That will be posted as well. Also, projects I'm doing, a lot of creative projects, and you're going to start seeing those things pop up. So please support us, support the work that we're all doing here in Texas too. With that being said, we're going to go on and start episode 161, y'all. 161, we're almost at 200. That's crazy. This is your Throwing Light IMLBB 2026 IML Class 48 preview panel here. There's 69 of them. Now, I'll let you know, this is how I did not organize this panel. This is kind of how it came together. So, this happens to be a group of brothers here or siblings that have a strong connection. And so they wanted to not only show their brotherhood that they've already formed, but give you a little taste of what we are seeing is a very strong bunch of champions. You guys are already winners. So what we're going to do, I'm going to introduce you, and it means instead of me saying you're going to tell everybody who you are and what your title is, I'm going to let you do it, okay? I'm going to start in the order of my affiliation. So I'm going to start with those I'm meeting for the first time in a way. So Denzel, hello. How are you doing?
Hi.
That
I'm
is
doing great. I'm having
fantastic.
a really fantastic day.
All right, well, why don't you tell everybody who you are?
Absolutely. So my name is Denzel Beelan. I am your Mr. Twin Cities Leather 2026. I use he, him pronouns, and I will be, was it today, in 6 days, landing in Chicago, getting all the stuff ready. I have so much of my stuff being prepared by my boot black Serenity, who I love and adore. So I decided to bring out a piece from my archive, which is a piece that was made for a Planned Parenthood fundraiser that is a runway, a fashion show theme. So
Oh,
we designed this together and they built it out of leather because when you're a leather title holder, you get to demand leather,
Mhm.
and they hand sewed it and painted it.
well, you gave me a lot to
Nice.
needle with you. I can't wait.
I
All right,
love it.
champ. I am sorry that we missed each other with the Throwing Light panel in New York. I
It's okay.
never
I knew
quit.
I knew it'd come around when the time was right,
I'm
right?
actually going to go back to New York because the winter storm put a little damper in it, but we made it through. I couldn't get our Philly people in, unfortunately. So there will be a back to New York. And the reason I really want to do that is because when I was a kid, I used to watch The Real World, and they started in New York, and then they had like season 10, and it was back to New York. So that was thinking of that. So sometimes I'm like a cultural nerd, and I want to do things like that. Champ, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Champ. I'm Mr. Eagle NYC 2026. Pronouns are he, him. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to add to that right now. I'm excited about next week. I feel centered and calm, which is weird because that's not normally where I kind of idle. So that's taken some work to get there. But no, I'm feeling good. I'm really honored and proud to be a part of this group of folks on this meeting.
Awesome. But someone who was there was Matt. Hello, Matt. So you
Hello,
were at Throwing
hello.
Light NYC, and that's how we first met. So we have a connection.
Yeah,
Good to see you
I
again.
good to see you. God, trudging through that snowstorm in my combat boots was hell,
It's
but
pretty
worth
amazing for
it.
me because I was like, you know what, this is pretty cool. I can say I started my year in a snowstorm. Life was going on, so I went along with it.
Right?
So why don't you
Well,
introduce
hello,
yourself?
hello.
Yeah.
Of course. I am Red Panda Matt, your Mr. Mayhem Leather 2025. I use he, they pronouns. And I am your fiery, friendly fisting instructor based out of Brooklyn, New York. And I'm ready to bring the mayhem to the IMLBB stage.
All right, now we're getting to a little more seasoned connections that I have with people. So Kevin, we can't fight about Scream movies, okay? We can't do that. We can't do that, okay? No fighting over Scream movies. Kevin,
All right.
I forgot. Okay, so you know what's funny? You remember how I came in and tried on those pants, right? And I said I wanted the dark ones. Well, I bought the light ones, so you will see me in those probably Saturday. I got the light. I should have I don't know. I bought the light ones, so I got my 38, and you will see me in them. I was going to bring them on the show and show you and show everybody that I will have. You will get to see my assets literally Saturday night. And Kevin helped me pick these suckers out, so I just want to give Kevin the props for that. Kevin, tell everybody who you are.
Yeah, hi, I am Kevin, he, him, Mr. San Diego Leather 2025. And like LTJ said, I work in a leather shop. That is my day job. I help people pick out fun things to feel sexy in. And honestly, it's the best feeling on earth.
Well, that's great. And you also get to work and be comfortable. So we all know that. So that's the beauty of your job, too.
Yes,
Kevin
I've been known to show up in very little.
Kevin has big assets. Yes, he's the big hotels on the Monopoly board. The big hotels. All right, so let's move over to Antoine. Now, Antoine, I just absolutely adore you. Bonjour, monsieur. How are you doing?
Oh, hello.
And even though we
Fantastic.
can't publicly announce it yet, you know that I reached out to you with a very special gift because I adore you so much. Right?
Oh, yeah, yes, I
So
know.
you can
It's
share with your brothers
incredible.
probably, but can't say it yet. We got a lot of work to do first. But Antoine, you had a fantastic appearance on my show. It's been great watching you. You're really good. You've got great editing skills, obviously. So you're gonna have to maybe give me a crash course when you got some downtime next week or something, and teach me how to edit.
Anytime you want. Next week, not
Yeah,
sure,
no,
but yeah,
for real,
definitely I
no,
will.
karaoke, because I host karaoke. You got to do the karaoke. You got to help me do your little karaoke jazzy thing or whatever. Go ahead and tell everybody who you are.
Fine.
Like first, Kevin's been on the show before, and now Antoine's also been on the show. This is their second appearances. So go ahead, Antoine.
So, hey everyone, I am known as Antoine in Cuir. I am your Mr. Cuir Montréal 2025, which stands for Mr. Leather 2025. By next week, exactly, as Denzel said, I will be at IML. I'm so excited. And not as Cham said, I am not at all calm, not at all serene. I have anxiety going on, but you know what? It's okay to be vulnerable sometimes. So, you know what? I am embracing that moment. I have beautiful people on that panel that I have honestly reached out to saying, I do not feel okay. I would like to talk. And they have all answered.
Very good.
Whether it's by texting or saying that they're here for me or even by video calling. So, you know what? I feel blessed and I can be more happy to actually see these guys. There's so much going on.
Remember these feelings, and all of you remember you're going to need that. You're going to have to be an emotional support system. So just get used to that because you're going to really, really need that. So be in that mindset already. So you're going to have to comfort each other because it is a high pressure situation. But we will get into that later.
We definitely know. We've already set up the crying scene, Champ and I. Like already, it's like this is something that is already seen. We are the crier of the competition. And this is us.
I think this is going to be far more than just the two of us. I know there's no crying in leather, but
two of us.
I am trying new eyeliner so it doesn't actually leak on my eyes.
Okay. Is that what all right, cool. All right, the next one, this is a little bit more work. This is a family member, basically, this next person. And there are multiple things happening for him right now on the show. All right, so last week, on the IML 47 panel, Dr. Ty Leatherman made 5 episodes on Throwing Light. Just happened to be for that episode. And I talked about all these different episodes because they've been all different and things like that. I also told Ty that he was only going to be that winner for 1 week because someone else was going to catch up to him. And so now we have Austin here, who is now on his fifth appearance on Throwing Light, also timing for this. And he has been on for two voting. When back in 2024, when we had hope, we were trying to get people to vote in my class during my time. He's been on for disability, and he's even come on just to help me boost morale. I don't know if we've ever really had like a Austin-centric episode. I really kind of would love to have that in the future. I think there's always been some kind of theme that you've been involved in. All right, this is the last thing I want to say. I'm going to be really, really quick. I met Austin my first appearance into the leather community. I competed for Mr. Texas Leather 2023. Saw Austin, thought he was interested, introduced myself. Some time later, I go to Houston, we hang out. I end up going out to meet him. And, you know, we're just getting to know each other. But there were some pups playing in the bar record. And, you know, there were these like drunk straight girls that came in. And they were trying to get over there and get involved and get in the way of the spectacle. And Austin stopped them and was like, you know, don't do that. Like, scolded them, right? And told them not to do that. And they went away. And I was like, wow, this is an adult. So, like, it always struck with me because I was like, Austin's the real deal. And so I've thought that since day one. I think it's pretty crazy to see both of our growths in 3 years and to be completely different people, to be honest, in so many different ways in terms of like, you know, because we were both like up small. Does that make sense? But like not the case anymore. But Austin, you know, I love you to death, and I see you more than once a year. And you know, I'm here for you. I'm so glad that you are a part of this. And why don't you go ahead and tell everybody who you are?
Hi there, I'm Austin Abernathy, he, him, Mr. Firedancer 2024. I'm the volunteer from Houston, Texas.
All right, y'all, your contestants are here, and it's time to get it rolling for Throwing Light. Y'all are ready. All right, guys, get ready. I'm going to go around. No, the order will change. I'm going to just start with people and kind of ask you some questions. And I'm just kind of going to go with the way that I started, introduce you. So we're going to go back down to you, Denzel. So, you know, what has been your biggest triumph this year as Mr. Twin Cities Leather?
My biggest triumph was one that we definitely couldn't plan, and that is especially during January and February, but still now navigating the effects of Operation Metro Surge on my city. So that is that big swarm of ICE agents that came into Minneapolis and the surrounding cities, and it was all hands on deck here, but particularly our leather families were literally on the streets. We were supporting people. My contest producer, which is a shop, Twin Cities Leather, actually ceased working on leather and became a mutual aid hub. And there were people who were on the street. There were people feeding people. There were people like me making sure that people were drinking water, sending people home who had been on the street for a long time during a brutal Minnesota winter on top of that. So I would probably say one of my biggest highlights and triumphs is really people seeing the power that is Minneapolis and particularly Twin Cities leather scene and just how fucking kick-ass we are.
Right on. Champ, I'm going to throw the same question at you. What's your biggest triumph this year?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few things that I'm really proud of that I've gotten to kind of really jump into as Mr. Eagle. But I think the biggest one is kind of activating a more socially aware group of Kinksters in New York. I think that they've always kind of been doing their own thing, but I've been throwing events to do fundraising specifically, not just social engagements, but fundraising social engagements. And we've raised over $20,000 in 6 months. And there's several more things to come. And so I'm really excited that there's been this momentum of like having fun, but doing good at the same time. And they don't take away from each other. They actually make it all better. So I'm really, really proud of that.
I had Diamond Anthony on the Thorn Light panel, and she said, good trouble, you know, getting into good trouble. So that's my
Lots of good trouble.
in connection with
I
you.
love good trouble.
All right. Okay. Okay, so Matt, same question for you.
I think personally, the thing that I'm like has made the most of my heart is I started the Friendly NYC social friendly fisting group, with which we've gotten to connect to a younger, more gender diverse community and helped introduce people to more what we would call varsity level kings and help create a safe space for people that actually want to learn, ask questions, in a general New York City environment, which because it is so large, tends to want to seclude itself into its own little cliques. So I've helped create a safe space that is bringing in people of different ages, of different gender expressions, and giving them a place to come together.
Right on, right on. Now I'm going to flip the script on you other three. Kevin, what was your biggest challenge this year?
Ooh, biggest challenge. Well,
Mm-hmm.
it's also kind of the thing I'm proudest of too. I guess they fold in together. The thing about San Diego's leather community is it's very large, but it's very disjointed. It's a bunch of different subgroups all kind of doing their own thing, often even creating their own titles, having their own events, and not really communicating with each other. So one of my biggest priorities for my year has been not just creating my own events, but helping people find guidance from one group to another, or new people find the group that's really relevant to them. Working in a leather shop that's very publicly visible as a queer leather business has helped a lot, because people can walk into the store and I'll be there around the counter, behind the counter, and they can say, hey, I'm really curious about this, but I don't know where to go. And I can tell them, great, so there's these different things happening this different day of the week. I've got a calendar together if you need it. Here's how you find these things. Because nobody was doing that. And sometimes I felt like tearing my hair out just trying to find all this information, but it needed to happen. And since then, I've had so many people come up to me and be like, I could have never felt like I could be a person who could do this if you hadn't made me feel safe enough to. And that, while that was a challenge to get to, is something I will treasure forever.
Right on, fantastic. Antoine, what was your biggest challenge?
All right. Well, my biggest challenge, I believe, this year was the fact that we had no title holder for 7 years in Montreal. And the biggest challenge of this year was to put back Montreal on the map. Montreal needed have so much to offer, needed to be back on the map, needed to be showing exactly what we are capable of, and that was the biggest challenge. And I am kind of very proud of it because I'm getting messages from kind of everywhere, and I'm saying that with a lot of modesty. I cannot believe how amazing it has been seeing that we've reached outside of Montreal, not only in Quebec, but not only in Canada, but all over, from Europe to USA. So that was the biggest challenge, and I hope I made the community proud.
Okay, awesome. Was your biggest challenge a roast? Hosting a roast? Was that your biggest?
No, that was easy. I would say my biggest challenge has been to make the connection to people for why they should give back and volunteer in the community, where funding has been taken away from so many of our local organizations. Giving your volunteer hours to Tony's Place, to Montrose Gray's Place, to Translegal Aid Center of Texas, your hours mean so much more because the money has been deprived. And so physically giving your hands back on a Saturday and seeing how much this changes people's lives, just it's been the biggest challenge, but with big risk comes big reward. So it really pays off.
So, last week I asked last year's class, we got into discussions of blue and red states and what the cultures are like. So we're going to do something real quick, but we are all aware we're having this cultural civil war issue right now, right, in the US. And I'm not sure, Antoine, how your viewpoint, but we will get to that because people need to hear an outside the US perspective. But even in our own community, there's an energy of division going on, okay? And it's in everything. It's in our community, as you know, because you see some kind of resistance going on all the time. It's everywhere. So, unity is so important. And I'm hoping, I posted today, when I was sharing this, that, when we were competing in 2024, there was an election among us. There was a chance. It was just a completely different energy than what you guys are going to have to maneuver. And we'll talk about how Canada is going to maneuver this too. So, what I want to do is, I want to first, if you're in a red state, raise your hand. So, we've got one red state person. So, I'm going to mute this person real quick. And so, okay. So,
what happens? Oh, carrots. Oh.
What are we doing? Hold on a second, y'all. Hold on a second. I don't know who that is. Hold on. Okay. Okay, cool. Awesome. We got it under control. Sorry. This is live. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Well, Austin, I'm gonna let you go into this because we know I have gotten a special guest coming on Throwing Light next month for our Texas trans community. And I asked her if she could come on and boost our morale a little bit. I can't tell you, but it is a RuPaul's Drag Race person. So I'm super excited, and I'm super excited to have that conversation. But as we know, and what we see, our trans community has been being assaulted, being hurt, devastated. We know that some have left. We are, would you say, Austin, one of the most difficult red states to be in the country?
It definitely feels like that living here in Texas, but people in different red states, different communities, they each have their own barriers and financial issues, not each of their own issues that arise. But I mean, it definitely feels very hard here in Texas. It does.
Has it been hard having events in Texas, you think? Has it been harder? How's attendance been impacted for you? Or has there been fear of coming to anything?
It's definitely changed the way that we do events. There's been restrictions that we've had to put in place at like the Hidden Door in Dallas, where I host a lot of my fundraisers and events, where I won my title. We've had to keep all of our performances to PG level. So, I mean, that's just one example, but I mean, people that come in feel nervous about if there's going to be a raid that comes into the bar, or if people are going to have video footage of them being in a bar and then that somehow affects their job, people being doxxed. And so there's multiple examples of why people are afraid, and how recent elections and politicians and our social standards have really affected how people show up to our events.
So, Kevin, Matt, Champ, Denzel. Okay, Kevin, let's go over to you. You're in California. You had a election and voted in a new map, and as you see that, the Supreme Court's passed some stuff. They've struck down the Virginia map, things like that. Does it feel to any extent like a bubble when you're in California and you go, because you've done a lot of traveling? Do you think that the community still has kind of a thriving, diversity in things, and do they feel threatened there, I guess?
Yes and no. So I think a common misconception about California, especially across the country, is that we are all this like blue monolith. My former job before working in this leather shop was doing power line inspection up and down the state in rural high fire risk areas. Let me tell you, it gets every bit as red or even more as it does in the red states out in the rural areas of California. I've been shot at. I've been attacked by wild dogs. Well, not wild dogs, own dogs that have been badly trained. It's all out there. So yes, we have our bubbles, and certainly like I feel it when I go out to Texas and, all the bars like, yeah, you have to cover your crack. And I'm like, oh, I mean, technically we have that rule too, but nobody enforces it. There's differences. And I feel it. I am a cisgender white man. When I talk to people, for example, in my Sash family, who I am the only cisgender white man in that group, last year when I pitched, hey, does anyone want to go out to Austin Kink Weekend? They all turned to me and in unison were just like, absolutely not. A lot of them are AFAB, a lot of them are trans. Travel does not necessarily feel safe for people. And that's true of people outside the country too, which I'm very concerned about. We're looking at an international leather event next week, and God, asking marginalized people, trans people to come into this country right now, that's a hard ask.
Yeah, that and that's something that the community will have to look at together as a whole. Like because um, if we are unsafe, we have to like come to terms with that, and we can't have an expect because when some of the response we got last year with this going on was that no, you should come and then don't be scared, and that's like that's easy to be here and tell them not to be scared. You know what I'm saying? So we have we are in the United States and we are in our own world and we are not you can't go and ask some average person rule thing what's going on in France or Spain or anything. They don't fucking know. They can tell you what the Facebook fight they got into though. You know what I'm saying? So, they can tell you that. So New York City champ is my favorite big city, as I say. New Orleans is my favorite small city. I mean, New York is just effing amazing. And I love the culture and the diversity, even though there are its pockets and things like that too. But like, what has the mood been like, in your city, with all this going on?
It's been, like you said, I think within the community, there's all sorts of people. There are always, fractures and people who are not kind of in sync with what I see as more like the progressive movement of where we are as a society. It happens in New York too. There are I've witnessed people commenting on transgender, non-binary females in the Eagle, and I've had to explicitly like call it out. Like this is not something that we just because we're a big city and we're, the Eagle NYC. I still have to, deal with that on a regular basis or see it, and that's just what I witness. That doesn't speak to what I'm sure is happening on a larger scale in more places to more people that I just am not witnessing. So we're not immune to it. I think that there's a lot of ways that we, as New York, as a big city, can kind of appear to be more progressive. We've got Mamdani, who just took our $12 billion budget deficit down to zero in like 5 months. Like that's a great thing, and that's what's getting the news. But there are certainly other issues that are happening in New York that are not necessarily getting attention or press. But it's like every community, it takes vigilance and fighting for everybody.
Denzel, Minnesota has faced some tragedy. You know, it, you guys have we have seen the chaos that has happened over there. What's the vibe now? Are people still on edge? Like, what are things like that?
I mean, yes, there's no way that we wouldn't be able to. I mean, we've been on edge for a long time, and you're talking to me, a black queer person who lives in Minnesota. Uh, I've been heavily on edge since the George Floyd murders, right? And it's we're approaching this 6 year anniversary of that, and we had the Pretty killing and the Good killing. And my job is I support a newsroom in Minnesota. And we were in a planning meeting today, and these are the things that we talk about. How do we cover this, but also how do we cover it with care? How do we provide information and resources? And I carry that energy and drive throughout a lot of my work. So, yeah, we're going through it. The quote unquote flyover state of Minnesota has been in the news way more. I think we're undeniable at this point. If you don't think so, let's have some words. It's very easy to point that at a map, even though I'm not originally from there and I couldn't do it the first time. But, like, are we going through something? Yes. Are we going to keep making that progress? Of course we are. We have shown that through our actions. We have shown that through the work that we have done and will continue to do. And every month, every day, every hour, we keep making it happen. And I think what we have shown the world on a large scale is like, nothing's gonna knock us down. It used to be there's no weather that can knock us down, and we've really shown there's really not anything that's gonna knock us down. But is there still that healing that needs to happen? Absolutely. And we are going to do that together. I really identify as one of those people that does take great care in people's mental and physical health as well. So I find myself in that sort of daddy role, if you will, outside of my bedroom as well as in my bedroom, just to make sure that my community can continue to stay strong, just as we have been.
Right on. So, Matt, are you in Maryland?
No, I'm also in New York.
Oh, okay, cool. So
So I
then,
won. BBM is based technically out of Fort Lauderdale. I won while I was in Baltimore, but I live in New York.
okay.
It,
So then, what's your experience? What part of New York do you live in?
I live in Brooklyn.
Okay,
So
so let's vibe
yeah.
about Brooklyn.
Uh, so Brooklyn, but much as any other of the boroughs, has within itself its own pockets. And within those pockets, you tend to create your own echo chambers. And it is very unfortunate that from those echo chambers, very upsetting things can develop within certain groups of people. And then within them, it begins to spread outward. I am grateful that where I live in Brooklyn is a very queer embracing, art focused, community gathered event. The street is right outside my window right here is where Brooklyn Pride happens, and I get to sit and watch it through my window. But if I go 5 blocks that way in another direction, it is a very different setup where there is a lot more uh, red flags, both figuratively and physically red flags, and it with that, it becomes dangerous to walk from one section to another. But these are things that we have to do because we have to show representation. And additionally to that, my day job, I work for a university. So I am constantly surrounding myself with, Gen Z students. And within themselves, they even have their own different diversities of what they believe in and what they say. And so, you know, as like kink and fetish educator, my job is to find, these Gen Z people and try to show them that like there is so much more out there and that you need to be more open and accepting because everyone has these different experiences and they're all valid.
Yes, I think what I see a lot of times, and especially on social media and things like that. I think that's been the biggest thing that has come up, and especially during the tour, people addressing that. But just a lot of conflicts and things like that. So Antoine, so you're in Canada. You've been threatened by our country, in the past. So I don't know what the vibe is over there. I just know me, Austin, all of us. We don't want you to be the 51 first state. So just know we want Canada to be Canada. We want Canada to grow up and be Canada, and we want to not be
Definitely.
Canada's business. So what is y'all's perspective, honestly?
So, in Montreal perspective specifically, I'm gonna say we do have this slight fear of, are we going to cross the border? Let's start with that. So we have been told, watch out, or you're going by the road. It's going to be more difficult than by the plane. Be careful. Don't wear your kink outfits. So it is very much, I think, a propaganda of fear that we get here, unfortunately, because of X, Facebook, social media. This is what actually arrives here. This is the material that we get in Montreal. However, we've been in January to Washington, to MAL. Definitely, you feel that there is a tension around, but I do not believe personally. But this is very personal because we've been in this cocoon, if you want to say, the inside cocoon of the hotel and the community, and everybody's here. But I do not believe that the threat is that hardcore, in my opinion, because I don't live it. And since I don't live it, I really can't really say. However, we do feel that there is a real tension going on, and especially, however, for the trans people, trans man, trans girl, trans lady, trans woman, and all non-binary society or people that do not identify as a cisgender man or cisgender woman. Is it something that I'll be afraid, let's say, to walk in the streets of New York because I'm Oriental, gay? I would actually like dress up differently or wear my leather. I'm not sure. Is it something that I would be concerned if I would be in Texas? I would definitely be.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. So, Matt, with experiences of your title year, political climate, and things like that, what is the message that you are hoping to send at IML? What do you think is important for our global community to know about how you think?
So the one of the so what I do as a day job is I work in theater. I do lighting, special effects, all of that for a university. So because of that, I'm a theater gay. Shocking, I know, gays in theater. Uh, because of that, I often preach the line from Rent, the musical. The opposite of war isn't peace; it is creation. It's one of the best lines ever said. And that's why the thing that I always try to push is that we always have to be creating art. We always have to be creating a movement. We always have to be creating something new. Because how when we get silenced is when we lose. As long as we are continuing to make our stand, as long as we are continuing to show up, as long as we continue to build something together, and theater particularly is a collaborative art, which is one of the things that I love most. We can come together, we can build something more than just the sums of our parts. So I am always for supporting artists, showing up, doing what I can to help other people grow and feel safe that they can grow.
All right, I'm gonna cut everyone off. Matt is my winner, so you guys are done. Let me. So what?
Have I
On the
been
real
practicing for
though,
my
on
interviews?
on the
Maybe.
real though, on the real though, and I've been trying like reinvention, creativity is like the closest connection to the universe you could possibly have. And I just think I think our biggest challenge right now, and I don't think at the core it's gotten there, is that we need reinvention right now. And creativity is so important to recreate because obviously war destroys, like you said, and things like that. So for you, champ, was I when you became a title holder and as you've been in your community work, how have you felt about preparing for IML?
I I was doing community work before I ran for a title because I wanted to. I decided years ago I was never going to run for a title if I didn't have anything to say or do. I wasn't just going to do it because I wanted to be seen and win a sash and like get attention. I knew coming into this years ago, the preparation for me personally was to like heal the broken parts of myself, lay to rest the old version of myself, find the things within me that I knew I had to offer and like chase that with my full pussy. And it got like I got to where I am today because I had to heal myself and go through trials and a past that was diminishing my light and holding me back. And where I've kind of like shot out was I knew that I had this calling for leadership and being a servant and being someone who could rally the troops and get people together and connect them with experiences that bring them joy, but also like put fire in their heart and like passion in their feet to go out and like change the world and create the future that we want to see and not settle for what's being told to us to shrink ourselves and separate and stay in and hide and be afraid. I lived too long of my life doing that, and I'm not going to do it anymore. So that's where I came into as Mr. Eagle. That's kind of like what I said essentially in my competition to win the title. And so it's just been more of the same, just with like now a not an end point of IML, but more of a like this is who I am, this is what I'm doing. all right, can I go back? Like, let me keep going to do more of that stuff that I'm like that I've been doing. So it's been a challenge to like fire me up and keep me going.
Austin, you're a very service-oriented person, and getting ready for IML, you know, what has been kind of like your straight to the point message about being service to the community? Like, why is that so important to you?
You don't need to wait till you become somebody great to do something great. You already contain that greatness within inside of you. You just need to take the first step. And you don't have to do it perfect. You just need to do it. Because we learn from our mistakes. We learn from our life experience, from when people give us feedback. And so many people just appreciate seeing action being done. So speak to what you're passionate about, whatever it may be: food drives, healthcare, legal aid, whatever you're passionate about, strive for it. Where can I give back? And just do it. And you're going to perfect yourself along the way. And it's a great way to meet new people.
Great speaking skills, Austin. Did you go to college too while you were doing this again and go to public speaking?
I went to college for theater.
Uh-oh, theater people.
All right, how many theater queens on this Zoom?
How many theater
raise your
gays?
hand.
I hope so. I hope y'all put on like a production. I want to see
theater people get shit done.
I want to see IML on Broadway after this.
I think we all are ready for an IML Broadway. Let's do that.
I want to make you better give me VIP tickets too. I know that much. All right.
Is that after IML All Stars?
Let me. There are IML All Stars. I'll put it like that. I won't get into that later. And so, okay. So, Denzel. Okay. So,
yes, I'm back. Sorry about that.
You talked about fashion and being a person of color as well, and going into IML, having a fashion sense and a perspective that is important. How do you feel your presence is? Why do you feel your presence is important, and why is it important for you to show up at IML?
Oh my God. Not only do I still feel like there are so many people who just need to see people who aren't your Castro clones, your Thomas Finland drawings, the things that are perpetuated as leather, and the things that a lot of people will get upset if you diverge from, even though they are still viciously valid. I also want to prove that, like, as a Black person, as whatever identity, we are not monoliths in that as well, right? I know that there will be people who are like, well, Jamal won 2 years ago. Do we really need another Black winner? And I'll be like, well, he's Caribbean. My parents are from the South of the States, My dad grew up in Little Rock. My mother grew up in West Monroe, Louisiana, which is known for Duck Dynasty. Yes, that's right.
I'm from Monroe. What? I'm from Monroe.
Okay, we gotta talk about that. And living in dust. But like, we as people of color, we as the people who are gender expressive, even amongst our kings, we all experience them so differently, and it is those differences and that diversity that makes us stronger. So why would we let anyone dampen that down into something that is quote unquote simple, something that is quote unquote easier to process? I want people to understand that we are all very different, and I will present differently than our brother Honey will, even though me and Honey do share a unique bond of being Black in this competition, and we have talked about that because that is identities that we do share. So we can acknowledge that and find special connections, but that does not mean that me and Honey are the same person by any means, and we actually celebrate that. And I'm so thrilled to have him there. I don't want to be one of one. I don't want people to think, oh, we just need one of any type of person. I'm so excited for just the immense diversity that our class has and the diversity I know future classes will continue to have.
Yes. And that's really cool to go through that, and also it's nice that you can be in this brotherhood and siblinghood and actually be able to have experiences and connect. Because some of you guys are going to be friends for the rest of your life, or like like and heads up, y'all's lives. Some of y'all might go through some ups and downs, and like who you're going through this competition with. I mean, like I've had a brother go through some tough stuff, and we've had to work through that. So and you never know who, and you might think someone, because it's going to be hard to connect with 69 people. You're going to get closer to the ones that are in your group and things like that, obviously. But you will maybe eventually later down the lines actually start to develop a relationship with the other ones. At least that's how it's going for me. Okay, so Antoine, you're coming from a different country and you're coming onto the IML stage, and you have Canada on your back. But how are you handling that? How are you coming into the competition? What do you think your message is?
Wow. Well, I believe that I've had a very clear message that I've been trying to advocate for. It has been HIV for years. I've been talking about it for years and years, and I did what nobody wanted to do, which was talk about HIV and back in Lebanon and talk in front of doctors. Sometimes even I had the immense chance to talk in front of a panel of doctors about how to treat a person as a person when you announce diagnose. We do not speak to a person the way they used to speak, and so I've always had this in mind, which was HIV, and I do believe that as well. We do not spread enough awareness, especially that now that treatments are getting much better. And but there is so much more to know about and to tell everybody about. It's not just a gay man disease. It's not just a African disease. Anybody can get that. Now we do have more and more people that are labeling themselves as bi-curious, heterofluid as well, everything. And it can blend in different communities as well. And it is blending in different communities, and it is in communities. So we do not have just to say that it doesn't affect, it affects only the others. We do have to keep in mind that we are the others as well, and that we get affected. And you know what? This is my message. It has always been HIV. It has always been what I'm here for, and this is what I wanna tell the world. I wanna make sure that everybody understand that no, we're not safe, and take care of yourself.
Where I'm sorry, we still talking? Are you good? So,
No.
where I think I would have told you, I that actually, I think, because especially at things that are happening in the United States and the chance of losing lots of resources, that is something, and then it's a global issue, and we're trying to end that crisis. So I think that is definitely has to be back in the forefront, because people are not going to be taught in our country to access and things like that. We don't like they're going to take our education, ways to educate us about these things away if they can.
Oh,
So
well, and that's one of the reasons as well why, for example, I do the all these reels on Instagram. For example, I try to actually educate the most. I try to reach, and I don't believe I educate. I try to at least pass a message to as many people that I can reach. And you know what? Some of my HIV message reels have reached over 40,000. Well, you know what? If 10% only of these people actually listen to what I'm saying, well, those are 10% that are actually like saved from a lot. And the education is not unfortunately being given in the US, I believe, the same way it's not given in Canada. We do not talk about that in schools. We do not talk about that in Lebanon. We do not talk about it in a lot of countries. But you know what? If this is what I can do, let me do it. And I am so proud of doing it. And, here we go. I mean, like Austin wearing his ribbon, I am talking highly about HIV. So, yeah, I mean, we need to get there and we need to explain that no, it's not because now we do have doxy and SIFT reaction that we don't catch other stuff as well. There is a lot of things happening and we need to talk about it more and more.
Right on.
And sorry, I did cut you off, but I
No, you're fine.
wanted to.
No, there's no cutting me off. No. Kevin, all right. So, you're getting ready to go to IML. You are done with your title year. Have you had, how have you been processing, what you want to accomplish at IML?
So could you clarify about what you mean by that? Like,
So
how
just
am I processing? You mean like how am I preparing or mentally processing or?
Ready for it, like, is it just been all that kind of, have you had more time to focus on this? And do you feel like, you know what you want to do when you get there?
Oh, I definitely know what I want to do when I get there. And some of the stuff is stuff I've wanted to do all along, really. I've always wanted to spend IML, running for IML at IMLBB, being fundamentally true to myself as a leather man. I will say, have I had more time after handing on the sash? Hell no. The past, I think it's like 6 weeks or so, I have been to a contest every single weekend, including a awful lot of travel. And I've been out representing. I've been out making connections. Me and my Sash family went out to like International Miss Leather, out to Northwest Leather. We are still doing the work to represent our community. And I think it's really great the way we hand on our sash a couple months before IML, because it means kind of inevitably the run for IML at IMLBB, it eats up a lot of oxygen from the new guy. But also, anytime someone is new in a sash, it kind of takes a little bit of time to figure out what you're doing and get your feet under the table anyway. God knows it did for me. So because Graylin Thornton years back instituted the change, we have to complete our year and then go off to IML, I think it creates this really, really beautiful handover where I get to be out here for a couple extra months still kind of doing the work while Sal, my Sash kid, gets his stuff together. He did his first event in Art Social the other week, and it was awesome. He's doing things I wouldn't do, and that's what we need. We need more different ways of doing leather.
That was good too, Kevin. Very good. You all did great. All right, now everyone take a deep breath. Woo! Wow, everyone's out of the hot seat now. All right, no more of that. You got to decompress and get ready for IML. So everyone shake it out a little bit and let's have some fun. I am going to play the exact same games that I played with IML Class 47 with you guys. All right, this is the first one. So you guys get ready and we're going to see how you really feel about each other. All right, y'all. And this is the way we're going to play it. I'm going to pick a person and you have to determine if I'm going to name a person and you've got to choose from your class here who you want to marry, who you want to have babies with because they're different, and then who you want to get rid of. Are you ready? I'm going to call a person and you go ahead and say where you want everybody to land and we'll see what y'all really think about each other. I'm going to start with Kevin. Kevin,
yes.
Go ahead.
So marry, have babies with, and get rid of. That's right?
Yes.
It's not fuck, marry, kill. It's marry and have
We don't
want
to kill. Kevin, murder is wrong. All right, let's do this.
Okay, well, I will marry Austin. He seems very even keel. We could have lots of very decompressed conversations like we did at MAL and just, domestic bliss. Now, that said, I will have babies with Denzel because, as Denzel has stated, he is dad. He is the most dad among us. That is very important for a child. And Antoine, I love you. I will be getting rid of you solely because you are such a beautiful slut that I think you'll be a terrible influence on the children.
Oh, very good, Kevin. That was good. Very good. You just came up with all that in your head. Did you know that was coming?
Yep.
All right, whatever. Okay. All right, Matt.
You're on mute.
Thank you. All right. I think Kevin was onto something when he said that that Denzel is daddy, and I need daddy, so I would love to marry Denzel. Mm. Um, I've already. Also, clearly fashion sense. Like, hello, that wardrobe. Yes, please. Um, I've already done things to Antoine, and he didn't get pregnant, so I guess he's
Oh,
off. Uh, so maybe I'll try my luck with Kevin and see if I can get Kevin pregnant, you know.
We can try.
Um,
I'm
we
here for
can try,
this.
you know, I've seen what those cheeks can do. So I haven't experienced it yet though.
that's a great
Oh God.
You were playing magic when we were having it.
Thank you for sharing the extra details. Everyone wanted to know that. Yeah. We know.
I can't. I can't.
Oh
I can
God.
confirm or deny nothing.
Who you getting rid of, man?
Oh,
The pressure.
oh goodness. I don't. Oh, this is so me. This is. I don't want to succumb to this homophobia. But if just
Say a
because he's in New
name.
York, just because he's in New York, champ.
I knew you were going to say it. I felt that I was prepared for that.
course.
I knew it was coming.
Hey, look, and I mean, get rid of the other New Yorker. That's a really simple motive. Man, I think that's the least like strategery. That's just like, hey, so I would say you're getting out of this with the least amount of blood on your hands so far. All right, let's see here. Austin, your turn.
I would marry Antoine for dual citizenship.
Oh, very good, Ant. That's very good.
That's it. Okay.
Very smart. I like smart people.
For many reasons. I would have
I also
children
have a
with
passport available.
I would have children with Denzel, and then I would kill for Champ because he needs
Oh, God.
defending. So I would kill for him.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
wow. Everybody's showing their personality, y'all. These are some big personalities. All right, Champ, your turn.
I mean, Austin stole my Mary Antoine for the passport, but I'm going to say it again. I've married before for something else and it wasn't worth it, so I've got something else to try now. Have babies with Denzel. I mean, come on. And I don't know if I have to get rid of Kevin or if he's going to do one tumble too much and actually just do it himself.
Oh,
So I think I'm just going to stand back and watch and see what happens.
Prophecy.
okay. It is interesting to me. Okay. So I think that leaves Denzel.
Yeah. Real quick question. Hey, dual citizenship, man. Does whoever you marry also get your dual citizenship? How does that work?
I need
Always.
to double check that.
Yeah,
Always.
because if yeah, okay, because there's a great theater scene in London, and folks know I'm a sketch comedian. So I'm gonna take you up on that, and we're gonna fuck up London together, Mr. Kevin. Who am I having children with? I mean, a Black Lebanese child is going to destroy the ecosystem.
Of course.
Like, of course. Just absolute stunning, beautiful children, absolute menaces, Kardashians beware. Who am I going to get rid of and send on vacation? Is probably the man I think who needs it the most, which would be Austin. I want you to just go away for like a month, not work. And tell us how that is for you, Mr. Volunqueer. Like, I want to see you just not do a thing and just beach. I don't even know what you're like on vacation, but I like to find out by also going on that vacation with you.
Well, we'll look on Expedia and we'll find a place.
That is
Sponsored by Expedia.
That was a good one too. I would concur with you, Denzel. He does do a lot. He does work a lot. I don't know what Austin just relaxing is. Anyways, so Antoine, that leaves you.
Wow. So I am gonna use my Arab Oriental Mediterranean roots, even though I'm not Muslim, but I'm gonna choose two men to marry because this panel is just too good. It would be Austin and Champ. I would want to have kids, and because we're allowed with 4 in the Middle East, with Denzel and Panda and Matt.
Just
And I would just
everybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I would
I feel like guillotine
literally
over my head.
and I would have literally get rid of Kevin because there's no many titles enough that we can judge anymore. So he's taken everything. So now it's our time to actually start judging. So next time you are in front of a stairs, baby, watch out your back. I may push you.
We haven't even judged anything yet.
You've been judging everything and everywhere. So
that's just recreationally.
That was
my god.
to end that round. All right, congratulations. Everyone knows what you're thinking, how you're thinking, what you want to do with each other. All right, this next one, superlatives. You know, I'm gonna say something, who's the most something, and you all are gonna shout out your answers, okay? And you're gonna expose what you think of each other. The first question I always ask is, who's the kinkiest?
Kevin.
Silence.
Red Panda.
We're just shouting it?
Kevin.
I think Antoine.
Kevin.
Everybody say it.
I'll take it.
Oh god. You know, Zoom's gonna love all this simul shouting.
Right.
So is Kevin the final answer?
No.
I don't know about that.
Antoine.
I'm not gonna. I'm gonna. Can I cancel an answer? I love you, Kevin, but I think it's Antoine.
Someone has to win the round.
I don't know what you're talking. I really don't know what you're talking about, guys. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Have y'all
It's not
seen
me
his
now.
blue sky?
Oh, shut up.
I
don't have
FaceTimed with him earlier.
Not that I should talk, but have you seen his blue sky?
Have you? Yeah. Well,
Well,
and if you're still on, Blue Sky, you are late.
you're gonna have a lot of
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
There is a kink educator in the chat, and I think one says in order to be able to teach, you get your 10,000 hours.
Oh.
So I'm just putting that out there.
I'm willing to train.
Austin and I don't have blue skies. Me and Austin don't have blue skies. All right, y'all. So,
Right.
anyways, we're gonna move into the next.
I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what you're talking about, guys.
Right? Did you just buy that?
Is that baking equipment?
Sure. Yeah. It's churning something.
I love
I thought it was a BB gun. I didn't know. Why did you see that? What is that? Oh, okay.
Oh my god, look at all of us. We're just sluts.
I don't think it's everybody, which brings me into the next question. Who is the biggest slut?
Oh, Antoine.
That's Antoine.
Antoine.
Champ.
Antoine, next question.
Here's the deal.
It's a dead tie.
I feel like we should explore this question more and really dive into some exploration of who
I'm leaving this panel. Thank you. Bye.
I will say, I feel like when I first met Champ, I shook his hand and he immediately looked at my wrist. So
Yes.
I absolutely did.
Yeah,
That
I
is
was like,
100% accurate.
I have
okay.
I have seen a video of Cham going out from somebody's place, walking the stairs outside in the dark, in the lights, with
something.
Yeah.
There we go.
You guys are
Oh, I love that one.
Overshares. You were
More
That's cinema.
Yeah, I think this is the oversharing I've had on an episode before. You were really putting it out there, and I'm sure everyone's eating it up. This is going to be a really high.
I want to be eating something up.
I have nothing to hide.
Here's my next one. Let's bring it down a little bit a notch. Who do you think looks the best in leather?
I'm gonna. Ooh.
fight, I start.
Antoine is always dressed to the nines.
Antoine is always dressed to the nines.
But it's not as much about the leather, it's the eyes. The eyes and the leather, that combination is a lot.
But Denzel's fashion is just impeccable.
I know, that's why it's like the statement pieces,
I'm tempted to shout out Austin. Austin, way he'll show up, bit of accent and bright red, the cowboy hat. He's always got a look going, and it's always him.
Antoine, who do you think is the best dress in leather?
I'm not answering that.
You have
I'm putting my veto. I think everybody. I think all of us look so good in leather.
Antoine, you're not winning Miss Congeniality.
Yeah, we're not giving that award.
He said, "I'd like to keep it on, please." Yeah.
You have to answer the question.
Does Big Four? You die if you drink it.
No, put it down.
Know how it tastes on the way.
I'm gonna say, guys, I'm sorry. Whatever. Champ, whatever.
There you go. You got it.
It's a random answer.
Okay.
Literally.
Denzel, who did you say?
In the paraphrase words of Issa Rae, I tend to root for anyone brown or black. So, I mean, also someone who has intense photo game though. Antoine, you know what you be posting.
You're the winner.
Come on, my guy.
All right.
No
idea.
So,
not any.
Who is most likely?
I feel so shy. I feel so happy.
Yeah, you're winning. You won the biggest slut in the best dress. So congratulations. All right.
Best dress and best undressed.
Okay, so this next one. Who is most likely to hurt themselves putting on leather?
Champ.
Well, yeah, probably.
Damn.
Seems to be the
Definitely.
rounds. Okay. Well, Champ, you
I'm a golden retriever and I move faster than I'm thinking, and so sometimes that turns into I have never broken a bone yet.
I don't know. I feel like Mr. Mayhem might be in some mayhem putting on the leather.
I'm graceful. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
he might take out somebody else instead.
Well, there you go.
All right, here's the next one. Who do you think would be the first one to die in a horror movie?
Dying for what?
Who would be the first
die in a horror movie?
Die in a horror movie.
Horror movie?
All right, y'all. We are.
It's been amazing with so many already. There is specifically one that I want to give a shout out to, our lost sibling, who is a leather London that, for political reasons, does not compete this year, and it's very upsetting that I should lie. And that's what we need to make sure gets moving forward. So always shout out our leather London gal. But for all this to me so far, I can't wait to meet the rest of you and make some amazing, long-lasting memories. Thank you.
I have gotten to be communication down too, and so if he is watching, I do hope things work out in the future for God. So.
I'd love to give a shout out to Akasha, Ian, and Astrid that just recently won International Miss Leather, International Mr. Black. So whoever wins for International Mr. Leather and International Mr. Boot Black, please let's work together. We need more unity.
Cool. Champ.
Yeah, I am so so happy last week. But I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm
excited for you all. Denzel.
Yeah, there's so many wonderful people who are going to be a part of this IMLBB class, and I'm just so thrilled for the opportunities to connect. I hear it goes just as quick as it goes slowly. For anyone in the class or thinking of competing at IMLBB, let's give them hell. I want a competition. I want to be one of those classes that people go, oh shit, we gotta pay attention to them. As much as this is a brotherhood, this is also a chance for us to just really shine. And honestly, in the most friendly way possible, let's make it a bloodbath. Let's make the audience go, we have no idea what's going to happen. And let's make it so that these 9 judges are splitting hairs, because it is all just tens and tens and
I mean, I have lived difficult stuff, and I'm but you know what? I can't wait for that, because this is so new for me and so intense and so challenging. And I feel so excited for it. You cannot believe how excited I am. I've been waking up in the middle of the night thinking of all that and like be like, and you know what? I believe it's really the life-changing experience we've all wanted. This is it, it's not a job, it's the life-changing experience. It's gonna be IMLBB, and I can't wait to be surrounded by those 69 siblings that are gonna be, we're all gonna be on the same boat. We're all gonna be freaked out, and we're all gonna be like, oh my god, where is my wristband, where is my leather? And it's gonna be like, you know what, well, that's it. We're gonna make it, and nobody's gonna die from that. But we're all gonna get much stronger, much stronger. And I do not believe that this class is ready to vanish or die or be silent anytime soon. Then the next year is gonna be like, okay, we can do as good as they did. So you know what? I think let's just pack our bags and leave, and that's gonna be it. It's horrible. I love your face, Austin. You know what? We've put all our heart. You see it with the way we talk, just on this panel, and believe me, all of the 69 sibling talks with the same passion, and this is what I'm so proud about. So yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Champ, it's a 90-second shut up.
Love you.
Let me finish.
Savage.
Don't mute me.
At the 91st second, you will be muted.
I'll be watching afar on Thursday when you get past the open ceremony representing your states and countries. You haven't seen me in these, but I don't know.